Good morning, friends. I will be right with you. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, get settled in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. How the heck are you, my friend? What is going on? Good morning, Shane. How are you? Good to see you here this fine Monday morning. Linda, how are you? Mitch, how's it going, my friend? It is so good to see you guys here. I'm a little scattered this morning. It is Monday morning, and I just got back last night from a 3-day backcountry camping trip. And I am going to talk a little bit about the experience there. I've got a little bit of video and photography to show you. Hey, good morning, Aaron. Aaron and I went out to the middle of nowhere. So I thought, today would be a good opportunity to share some of the learnings from the path. And I'm looking at, Aaron, some of these views are just freaking spectacular, dude. Like, mind-boggling. So anyways, I'm going to ramble a little bit, let you guys get settled in. It's Monday morning. I know you're running a little late. Everybody's a little chaotic. So, yeah, let's just take a breath and enjoy. I got to show you. Let's see what I can show you here. We will start off with, hey, good morning, babe. How are you, Michelle? What is going on? All right, hang on. I'm going to give you a quick, can you look at that? Look at that. So that is a little sneak peek of what I'm going to talk about today. That was the Klein River right next to our campsite. Isn't that spectacular? Isn't that absolutely incredible? The views. So this is looking back away from the lake down the Klein River, and it was just absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, Mitch, it's stunning out there. So we were down by Saskatchewan Crossing, which is the David Thompson Highway and the Icefields Parkway, if you know the area at all in Alberta. So Friday, October 2nd was the 5th year anniversary of Colleen's murder. And so it was just nice to, hey, good morning, Brenda. How are you? It was nice to get out into nature, get out into the bush with my friend Aaron, one of the guys in our Connected Men's group that is helping to do some of the work that I do in the violence prevention arena. So it was just so fitting that on the 5th anniversary of Colleen's murder, Aaron and I got to go together and spend some time out in the bush. But it was an experience for sure. It was not quite what we thought it was going to be, but sometimes that's how we get the best adventures in life, isn't it? It's those unexpected things, those twists and turns that give us the most rewarding things in life if we keep ourselves open to them. And that's really the key, is just allowing things to unfold as they're supposed to unfold. So often we get frustrated when things don't go the way we want them to go. Yet at the end of the day, we often end up better off because of those little twists and turns. Hey, good morning, Justin. So I want to share with you a little bit, some of the twists and turns that Aaron and I had just to give you a little bit of a sense. So I am going to show you a map I'm going to show you first the map of us climbing out of Pinto Lake back to the car, just to give you a little bit of context. So let's have a look at that. So are you ready for it? So this was us, that's Pinto Lake. This was us coming out of Pinto Lake. So we climb. This is about 2,100 meters, 2,200 meters. And then we follow this all the way back down to the car. So there is the nice straight shot from Pinto Lake back to the car. So this is obviously the route that in a perfect world we would have taken. Now, let me show you the route. Oh, where'd it go? I lost it here. Let me show you the route we actually took. Here we go. Hang on, I gotta go back here. So again, from the car all the way up to Norman Lake. Well, we've got a little detour there. We got a lot of detour there. We got lost. We didn't quite know where we were going. We got to the summit. Something looked wrong. We got lost again. We got lost again. Eventually, what we ended up doing was setting up camp at the top of that summit. So what happened was we went down the trail. We got to a point where there was a pile of rocks pointed in an arrow hard left off the trail. And we kind of thought, that seems a little sketchy. So we ignored it. So we went up the path a little bit. Good morning, Sylvester. Good morning, Anne. So we followed the path up. We ignored the arrow pointing hard left. And as we got up a little ways further, we looked at, Aaron had the InReach, the Garmin, the GPS. We looked at the GPS and realized that we were very far off the path, the route that he had downloaded onto the GPS. So we went back to where that arrow was. We turned hard left and we started following the path there. Then all of a sudden, the GPS started showing us well off the path again. So we thought, you know what? This just doesn't seem right. Let's follow the path. Let's follow the GPS. So we followed the GPS. We ended up bushwhacking through the trees, through the forest. There was no trail. We were completely lost, but we had this GPS that was supposed to put us back on the path. So it was really interesting to reflect on how, rather than follow the path, we trusted this GPS. We looked for certainty. We thought that this GPS would give us some certainty as to the direction we were supposed to go. And so we followed this certain path that was on the GPS. We ended up having to bushwhack. Eventually, we got back onto the path. We followed the path up. We got to that summit that I showed you on the map. And then again, our GPS started doing squirrely things, and it wanted us to walk straight off the cliff. So clearly we realized the GPS was no longer our friend. We weren't about to walk off the cliff over this. I'll show you in a minute, because spectacular. So we weren't about to walk off the cliff to find Pinto Lake, which is where we were headed. But it was just interesting to see. We had a very defined, a very clear path right in front of us, yet we doubted it because we were trying to follow the certainty of this GPS. Again, a great metaphor for life. Where do we look for certainty rather than just following the path that's right fucking in front of us? And so we ended up going back and forth and back and forth. Pinto Lake is supposed to be about 14 kilometers from the parking lot where the trailhead. We ended up to where we ended up stopping for the night, which still ended up being about 4.5 kilometers away from Pinto Lake. We did 20 kilometers. So that's how much sort of bushwhacking and zigzagging we did. What should have been 10 kilometers, if we'd followed the path, we ended up doing 20 kilometers. The flip side of that is we were so after 6.5 hours of hiking, lost, not knowing where we were going, we finally just called it quits and said, you know what? There's a nice meadow here up at the top of that summit. It wasn't actually the summit. There was a nice head wall on one side and a cliff on the other. So we just decided, you know what? We're tired. It's getting late. We're going to make some mistakes. We're going to do something stupid. Fortunately, I had brought, Shane, I'll come back to you. Unfortunately, I had brought 4 liters of water. So we had a fair bit of water with us, which is really the only thing that would have been problematic. But again, the reality is things unfolded as they should. So let me show you this, because this is going to blow your freaking mind. Aaron, I hope you're still watching, man, because you haven't seen this yet. I just literally pulled this off the GoPro about 5 minutes ago, so I haven't even seen all of this. But check this out. So this is where the GPS wanted us to walk off the cliff. Is that spectacular or what? Look at that glacier up there. Up here. So this was the trail we kind of went over, and then we backtracked. It was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So we ended up, oh, hang on. I'm going to do this again. Here's a little 360-degree view. So this is where we ended up camping. Yeah, not bad. Hey, Sylvester. Canada is not a bad place to be. But like I said, it was such an interesting metaphor for me to look at. Again, we're searching for this certainty with the GPS that we just didn't have, and rather than trust our gut, rather than follow the path that was very clearly right in front of us, we looked to have this certainty of the GPS. I'm going to show you another little clip here. I'm going to put this together in a video. How gorgeous is that? No, Anne, I did not get any pics of what was over the cliff because, frankly, we didn't want to get too close. But it was just, again, it was so incredible to be out there. That was, for me, 3 days of completely disconnected, no social media, no texts, no nothing. Yeah, it was incredible. I'm going to see again what we can. I'll show you. So that kind of goes down into the valley, and eventually we find. See, at this point, we didn't know Pinto Lake was right below us. So that was pretty incredible. Anyways, long story short. So once again, we kind of fucked up. Although we got some pretty spectacular views over there. Unfortunately, this is what we've been looking for. There's Pinto Lake. We came up over. We just couldn't figure out how to get down there. We got so stunned by the beauty of the mountains, we couldn't see the lake from up there. We walked right on fucking by it. So now we're still
still about 2 kilometers out. Hey. All right, we'll get there. At least we can see it now. 1.8. We're getting there.
Anyways, again, it was just incredible. So we camped the night there, and the beautiful thing about, like, I'm going to get emotional just thinking about it because it was incredible. If you looked at the moon on Friday night, it was a big full like harvest moon kind of thing. So the moon came up from behind the mountains right in front of us. We built a fire on the rock face there. As the sun went down and it got dark, we could see this glow behind the mountain and realized it was the moon. And we got to watch the moon actually rise up from behind the mountain. And it was just incredible. There was no light pollution whatsoever. Just absolutely incredible to see. The views were stunning. The moon was absolutely incredible. Sylvester likes to send me these puzzles. There's one bear, you and your friend. What are you doing? Running? I'm playing dead. I'm not sure. We didn't see any bears. We saw lots of bear scat for sure. I'm going to see if I can find another little clip to show you.
Yeah, you love trail running.
This was coming down.
If you like running.
Me trying to convince Aaron that trail running is a good thing to do. But eventually and it was funny. So we saw this guy at the trailhead. Bear spray, Aaron says, yes. We saw this guy at the trailhead when we first went out. He was from Edmonton as well. So he said he was going to Pinto Lake. So, we'll see you there. So as we were coming down the next morning into Pinto Lake, when we finally realized where the path was, because when you go right to that cliff's edge, there's actually a set of switchbacks that go down that we didn't see the night before because, again, we were trusting the GPS. We didn't trust our gut. We didn't follow the path. So the next morning, with clearer heads, we just followed the path. We had some breakfast. We followed the path, and we eventually got down, and we were about 500 meters from Pinto Lake. We didn't realize it at the time. And this couple comes walking out down the trail from the other side. And the gal says to us, she goes, "Hey, are you the guys from Sherwood Park?" And I'm like, really? You guys, they've sent a rescue party already? Like, we haven't even been lost for 12 hours yet. But what had happened was she'd met the guy that we met in the parking lot who had mentioned that, yeah, there was a couple other guys out here, but I don't know what happened to them. So anyways, we ended up getting to Pinto Lake. We saw the fellow that we ran into. Hang on, I'm going to again see. Oh yeah, this is Aaron making sausages. We had some yeah, look at those. Those were the best tasting sausages I've ever had in my life. So there's our fire up at the top of the. This is first thing in the morning. Our little freeze-dried meals. And then here's the path. I think I did not. So this is once we got down to the Klein River.
We made it to Pinto Lake.
We made it to the lake.
We might have taken a long way. We might have added a few kilometers. But we're here. But we are here.
So that's our campsite. And that is the lake, my friends. How spectacular is that? Isn't that something else? So we ended up doing, here's our tent. We ended up going for a hike around the lake.
No, I don't usually put them away per se.
We did not go swimming, Anne. We did not go swimming. But look at that. So this is my first time looking at all this footage. But yeah, so we got to wander all the way around the lake, which was about 5.5 kilometers. Yeah, Tarsi, isn't it amazing? Like, so this was, I don't know, 4-hour drive from home. And then we hiked in, we hiked out for about just under 4 hours to get in. Michelle says, as a professional, get lost constantly. I treat GPS like it's gospel and would be the person that drives into the middle of the lake because it told me to. It's a miracle I'm still alive, she says. Look at that, hey? I thought this would be a great way to start your Monday morning. Share some of this stuff with you guys. So this is where we camped. So I think we're almost exactly opposite side of the lake now. Had to bushwhack a little bit for bits and pieces of it. Yeah, Tarsi, again, the only way to get in is you got to hike in 14 kilometers. Is it? Yeah, I suspect it would be a glacier lake, Anne. So it would be cold for sure. It would be cold for sure. I'm just going to flip through some of these. So this again is the trail we went through. This meadow. Like just the wildflowers and the grass. Like it was just absolutely stunning. Oh, this was neat. So this talks about 1924. There was a family that lived out there. The guy shot his arm. The wife had to amputate his arm and eventually go for help and get him back in. Oh, here's back at the campsite. I think this is the one where, yeah, I'll fast forward a little bit. Oh yeah, so here's a little river crossing. So there's our campsite over there. We had gone all the way around the lake now. I wasn't so sure how solid these little rocks are, so I thought it'd be fun to film, and maybe one of us would go down and make for even better footage.
Aaron does it no problem. Let's see if I can make it.
see if I can make it. Done. Easy peasy. Aaron had his little camping saw. We cut up some firewood. Had a little fire. This is Sunday morning, and we headed back home. A little bit of breakfast. Yeah, it's too bad, Anne, that yeah, all the guys had to cancel. So it was just Aaron and I, but it actually probably wasn't too bad because oh, look at this. Look at this. I saw a bald eagle as we were hiking out. But yeah, this area is just absolutely spectacular. There was so much deadfall as we hiked out. This is Sunday, yesterday. So this is as we're hiking back out, coming back towards that summit. This is the meadow and the glacier up there. Yeah, the you hanging on a tree, Aaron, is in the video somewhere. It was on at the end of one of the long clips, so I'll have to find it. So yeah, Aaron's a climber. He likes to climb trees and hang on things. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, it is just absolutely stunning.
4.6 kilometer slug from down at the lake.
So this is where we turned around. That's where we turned around when we were quote unquote lost, but we should have kept going and we would have just followed it down. Again, a little bit of rain on Sunday, but Friday, Saturday were just gorgeous. Anyways, my friend, so that was my weekend. And yes, Anne, it was simply outstanding. Simply outstanding. It was just, I got it again. Yeah. Look at that. So this is back to the meadow. Oh, this is, I think, where
We can find our own.
somewhere along here is where that.
You know, I just wish these trails were more clearly marked.
I wish these trails were more clearly marked. So that's the arrow that we ignored the first time. So we had to cross the river.
Ended up in the bush.
And yeah, this is where we turned off and ended up in the bush. So again, it was just absolutely incredible. So the question becomes, do we follow the path in our life? Do we follow our guts? Or do we look for certainty and follow the GPS? And for me, you know, when we just embrace and trust the process, life is so much more rich. It's so much more full. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. It was an absolutely amazing weekend. And lots of lessons learned. We had some good conversation. We shared lots of real life. You know, you don't tend to talk about your local sporting's team out there. It's a different experience. And like I said, unplugged, disconnected for 3 entire days, which is ridiculous to think that that's a long time. But really, it's the longest I've been disconnected in a decade, in a very long time, which is crazy to think. Anyways, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I appreciate you letting me sort of oh, wait. I got one more because this little guy, I don't know how well we can see him. This little grouse, he let me get fairly close. I don't know if you can see it. He's got this little red eyeball. It's just a gorgeous bird. Aaron says his lesson, I'm going to hang on. Oops. Aaron says, my lesson was sometimes the path you take isn't the path you need. I needed that experience. Yes. It was incredible. Shane, GPS is in a satellite built by someone who might have been having a bad day, interpolated by machines that may have made by someone else having a bad day. So keep your head out of your ass and look around. Yeah. And that was absolutely the lesson. Absolutely the lesson. So anyways, my friends, I would love to reminisce about this weekend all day with you guys. But some of us should probably get some work done today because it is Monday. All right, my friends, as always, continue to make beautiful shit happen and have yourself a spectacular day. Take care.